dragon, marked for death. Yeah, nado. Be there. Yeah, nado.
I'm alright, just relaxing. See if I can get somebody to help me with this shit. Hold on. I haven't played this since, like, before the DLC came out, so basically, like, really power creeped out at this point. So, let me, go on the Discord and see if I can get some help here. Start to get some better stuff. Yeah, for the most part, channel's still doing really badly, but I know it will pick up. It'll pick up soon. I don't really expect Bloodstained to do well for me, but I know people are gonna want to see the Ninja Warriors once again, probably Astral Chain. I don't think there will be too many people covering those games, so it's all good right now. I'm just playing whatever I want. I don't really care how the views go or if people are interested. E3's like literally a week away, so there will be more interesting stuff coming. Right now, there's not anything going on. See if I can solo these for now, as no one's responding in the Discord. I have to say, I was really disappointed with the music in this game. I don't know why they went for like a generic, like Western AAA game kind of music, the orchestral like summer movie stuff. It all sounds the same. The music in this area, the like Asian-inspired area, is like pretty good. The rest of it, I can't remember any of it at all. It all sounds exactly the same. And they were like so proud of the fact that they got like real orchestra to do it. I'm like, why don't you get the Gunvolt people to do it? They make good music. I don't really need anybody else to do it but them. It just starts to all blend together. It's just like most Western game music all sounds the same after a while. This game is very much the same. This is like one of the only tracks I actually remember, and I played this game for like several dozen hours. I think this game was pretty humbling for them. They got like pretty bad reception when it came out. But they actually kind of thought like Dynasty Warriors 9, but the patches they've had for this have been much better than most of the stuff they added for DW9 was like not really, didn't really fix a lot of the problems. Some of them did. But I'm playing this now and I'm like, wow, they actually have made a pretty good effort to fix the game. The enemies actually give good experience and they actually drop stuff now, so they actually serve a purpose. When this game came out, like, the trash mobs were... There was no reason for them to be in the game. And there was never reason to not just run straight to the boss. Now that they have drops, I mean, the game is a little bit slower, but they actually do something now. They didn't when it came out. There was no reason to interact with the trash mobs at all, unless they were, like, directly in your path. It's like the only game like this I'd ever really played where the trash mobs served no purpose. They didn't even really, they gave like barely any, they gave you like peanuts for experience too, so it's not like you could even grind off them or anything. But when you reach the level cap, there was literally no reason to ever interact with them at all. So it's kind of cool seeing all these drops and stuff. I haven't played since they added all that. think there's somebody just responded in the Discord. I think this is like the first game that Inti released that just didn't have like a really smashing reception right away. And this is the first time they've ever really taken on a game this big. They normally make pretty small games. And the next patch, we're actually supposed to get like brand new moves and shit, so I mean that sounds pretty awesome. And one of the biggest problems I had with this game is the small moveset, and the gear is not terribly interesting. The ladder has not really been fixed that much. I hear it's actually been made a little bit worse because there's only a couple things that are viable, but and one thing at a time, I guess. They said that they're still working on the patch, so maybe they'll add some more gear, they'll buff some of the shitty items. I haven't watched it yet. I downloaded a bunch of the episodes and I forgot to take them with me when I went on my trip. I would have had enough time on the train and the shuttle to watch like the whole series, but I forgot it. And actually, this track is pretty nice too. The other music is just like so generic. It doesn't stand out. And you hear this one a lot, especially since no one really plays. No one makes public matches anymore. The player base pretty much died in the first few weeks because how easy it was to break this game. Like you just grind for the Amulet of Darkness +1, and then you could pretty much just like 2-shot, 3-shot everything. There was not really much content either, so people kind of just broke the game and then moved on. There are a lot of problems, like I said, like the trash mobs, like having no purpose in being in the game. The bad drop rates, which apparently is still not fixed. Balancing wasn't the best either. A lot of the non-shinobi classes, like they could barely dodge some attacks. That still hasn't been fixed, but apparently the new moves are supposed to help. The only one I was really interested in playing was the shinobi because he's basically just zero. And he plays like the old Inti Creates characters. Not sure if this person's joining or not. Maybe loading up the game or something. Cats are fine. They're not liking how hot it is, but we're taking care of them. I just gave Phoebe some food when I came back like 2 hours ago. She's probably asleep now. I think this guy just, like, left. It's just, like, didn't want to play. Let's see if there's any other games going on, otherwise might just play something else. Oh, there's somebody. I hate that fucking paralyzed shit. I don't like the status effects in this game. They just prevent you from doing anything. It's really annoying after a while. It's like they constantly spam it. Again! Takes forever to wear off. It's like you put it on them and it lasts like 2 seconds, and on you it takes forever. Kinda hoping they would like nerf that so that they can't just do it all the time. Alright, no one's responding, so I think I'm done with this for now. I definitely dislike how there's never a random party. It has the same problem that like all the like anime fighting games have, where there's never anybody playing, and you have to wait for someone in a Discord, and it's just very helpful and supportive community, but sometimes I don't want to arrange a match in a Discord. I just want to log on and play, and just have someone log in. So I kind of don't like that they're adding more stuff that requires a party, and there's just like no one playing. And I wish they would just add like AI bots to the game or something. Kind of like a lot of the other hunting games where they add AI so that you don't have to beg for somebody to play. That's kind of one reason why I stopped. There were a lot of problems with the game, but I don't know, it just felt like playing a dating site after a while. I had to like beg someone to talk to you and play with you instead of just being able to just find a match with somebody. I really don't like that aspect of the game, but it launched in a really bad state and it was very easy to break, so I can't blame people for moving on. They came out at a pretty stacked time too. There are a lot of games coming out like rapid fire, so I guess people just kind of lost interest. It is a lot of fun to play in parties, but it's just you can't just turn it on and play it. That's what it's a big turn off to me. Like, at least in a fighting game, you can, like, play, like, you know, arcade mode or training mode or something. I can't imagine how hard it is to play now. I mean, there's never a room up. Even the Japanese aren't really playing it anymore.
The red crystal. A powerful evil must be stopped.
No, you're not missing anything. You literally have to go in the Discord or have like a friend from somewhere else to really play it online. And it's not like that's a new development either. I mean, it was pretty dead within the first month. Normally, you know, when you put out like new content and patches and stuff really quickly, it usually brings people back, but they lost a lot of goodwill at how bad the state the game was in. They still have not really fixed the problem of the loot not being very interesting. I think that's one of the biggest issues. That's something that's harder to fix. Like, if you have a loot game and there's just like nothing to grind for, or the loot is not very interesting, or it's all just damage and stuff, that can turn people off too. Like, I like grinding for loot in games when it actually like changes the way that you play. And Dragon Mark for Death doesn't really offer that. At the end of the day, pretty much everything is just DPS gear, so you know, if you want to just like straight up one-shot stuff and get really strong, then the game definitely offers that. But if you want like actual differing playstyles and stuff, the game really kind of falls flat. No, the game launched in a really, really rough state. There just wasn't a lot to do. There were a lot of problems. Some of the biggest issues were, like I said, the loot was very boring. There weren't really a lot of like ways to have your own identity in that game at all. You pretty much just played the meta stuff because there were no other options. Another big issue was the fact that the trash mobs were basically pointless. Like, not only did they give like crap experience, they didn't drop anything. The only thing that really mattered was the boss chest.
Ready, fight.
So it the meta was basically just to have a shinobi in your party to basically speed run to the boss, and then everyone else would just burst them down because nothing else really mattered. The only other thing that mattered on the level was just some of the chests could drop interesting things, but it was still heavily weighted towards the boss. So you have all this like beautiful pixel art in the game and all these trash mobs and stuff, and there is no point to ever really interact with them. Now they fixed that. The trash mobs actually do drop stuff now that you can use to craft items. But that was a problem for a really long time, so it kind of got to the point where you just would speed run to the end. Which, to be fair, is pretty common in hunting games. It's very common practice, but it definitely felt really bad here because the game actually does have a leveling system. And they gave, like, basically peanuts for experience. So there's like, why would you bother fighting them when the only thing that mattered was the boss chest? I really think they should have delayed the game like another month or something. Just like have the DLC out at launch. But at least not so much of a gap, because the best gear in the game was basically just grinding. Basically just grinding the final boss. The final boss dropped something that made you do more damage on enemies higher than you, but it also stacked. So if you ground out 2 of them, then you could basically one-shot everything, and there was nothing to do at that point. Like you pretty much had plateaued as a character at that point. There wasn't anything else to really accomplish.
Fight.
I feel like in this next patch they definitely need to address the fact that a lot of the gear is pointless, and there's still like 1 or 2 things that you can really build towards, and everything else is basically pointless. 'Cause that's the kind of thing that can kill a loot-based game. There's just like not enough things to grind for, or different ways to play. And I think they actually ended up nerfing some of the other like cool options as well, which kind of amplified the issue. It stands for the Dragon King Crystal. That's like one of the best items in the game. And it drops from the final boss, and it has like a notoriously bad drop rate. I follow somebody, he used to play a lot of PSO2. Apparently it took him like 1,200 runs to get it to drop once. That was another problem with the game too, is like the shitty drop rates were obviously there to you know, facilitate there not being much content in the game, but when only a couple things are viable, and the one that was viable at launch basically completely broke the game, then that obviously made people lose interest and move on to other stuff, myself included. I can understand why they nerfed it, because they were trying to sell DLC and support the game, and there's already something that lets you just two-shot everything with not that much effort, but still.
You win.
It's a very fun game with friends. I will definitely give it that. That's one thing that's never been wrong with the game, is that, you know, if you pop into like a Discord voice chat with somebody you know from somewhere else and you play, it is very fun. It's also very enjoyable when you have like one of each character. But a lot of the underlying issues definitely kind of dampen the replay value and the fun factor. I don't regret playing it at all. I definitely had a lot of fun like playing with Squillo and stuff, but I'd be lying through my teeth if I said it was like one of the best loot-based games I'd ever played. I do like how it's skill-based, you know, you can't just like tank stuff, you have to actually learn the attacks, but at the same time, the balancing of the set attacks is pretty off. Some of them are like borderline impossible to dodge if you're not the shinobi. Like shinobi, it feels like they balanced the attacks around the shinobi being able to have an air dash with invincibility frames, and then they didn't bother. They didn't bother to do that for the other 3 characters. So that complaint didn't really mean much to me because I played with the shinobi exclusively. But it's understandably very frustrating for the people who played the other cast. Yeah, if you just want a straight, like, Mega Man Zero experience, I probably wouldn't recommend it, playing it much longer. However, we are supposed to get a big update with, like, new moves and stuff. They usually do some balance changes, too, so maybe they'll address some of the problems. They tend to be pretty receptive to feedback. I don't really think they've ever had a game that's had, like, that negative reception before. Like, they have a pretty consistent quality to their games. Like, even if you don't particularly like one of their games, they all have a very consistent quality and production value to them, but Dragon Mark for Death was, like, the first time they had done anything with, like, loot and an emphasis on, like, net play and stuff, so it's understandable that it didn't turn out as well. You know, the controls are very responsive, the pixel art is very good, just like all their other games, but a lot of the other stuff was, like, brand new to them, so pretty good for a first try, but not up to people's expectations.
You win.
No, it was pretty active for, like, the launch window, meaning the first, like, couple weeks. But it's very low on content, and when you have a loot game, and A, there's not much to really do in it, and B, there's really only a couple things that are viable, and the other items are trash, and C, there's, like, not really much build variety. That's kind of a recipe for disaster. And that's kind of exactly what was wrong with the game. You had, like, a couple items that were, like, insanely good that were meta, and the other ones you really couldn't competitively use them at all. That's still kind of the problem they've had with the game, like, to begin with. Yeah, it's like why Monster Hunter and Tokiden and stuff are pretty popular games, because there's, like, different ways that you can play them, and not just, like, one or two ways, and that's kind of the problem with DMFD. They definitely have the contract system, from what I've seen, actually does help quite a bit, but the actual, like, loot that you equip on your character is still very limited. I don't play Monster Hunter at all. Monster Hunter's too slow for me, but I get why people like them, and that's one of the main reasons, that there's a lot of player identity available. So when you have a loot game that doesn't have that, people aren't going to stick around. That's just the reality of it. I will commend them though, like they've been very very supportive of the game. There's been a lot of like post-launch support for it, and they fixed a majority of the issues that people had. They still got a ways to go, but they didn't just abandon it. They could have easily just done that. But I think it actually sold pretty well, and Inti Creates games in general tend to have a pretty good shelf life, at least digitally. You know, they put it on sale for like 20 bucks or something, and a lot of people will buy it. They're very visually and aesthetically pleasing games, so that helps
too. Ready, fight!
Like, their games stick out because they have like really good pixel art. The presentation is very good as well. And there's a lot of garbage on the eShop right now, so the game definitely does stick out. Even just the box art for it looks very attractive. Because they got the guy who did the Mega Man Zero, all the art for that, to come back and do it. So I guess they think it's in their best interest to keep supporting it, even though it probably didn't do as well as they expected. And definitely had a very tepid reception when it came out. They're one of the few Japanese publishers, too, that actually does, like, steep discounts on their stuff. Like, you have, like, Koei and stuff will still try to sell you a game from, like, 5 years ago for 40 bucks. And wonder why no one buys it. Like, at the same time, they also respect the hard work that they put into the games, too. They're not, like, $5 after a month, like a lot of indie games are these days. And they've definitely built up a lot of goodwill. The post-launch support for pretty much all their games has always been very good. They fix all the bugs, and occasionally they add some features as well, and the DLC is usually worth buying. I've never really been, like, burnt buying an Inti Creates game at all. Even if I don't finish the game, I still get a couple hours of enjoyment out of it. And if there's any issues, they are always very quick to fix them. It's just Dragon Mark for Death is like, it's like, you know, having someone who's only made like pizza or like burgers or something. Someone who's like really good at making like pizza or a burger, have them make like, you know, gourmet, like Hell's Kitchen kind of food, you know? It's like, it would still be edible, but it wouldn't be, you wouldn't go back to that person for that same thing. They wouldn't be very experienced with it. That's exactly what Dragon Mark for Death is. They're used to just making just straight action platformers and 2D games and stuff, and their output in all those aspects has been very good, but had a lot of growing pains with that game, I think.
Ready, fight!
Yeah, I'm kind of like 50-50 on Gunvolt. I mean, the game is very, it's nice to look at, but I don't like the core gameplay mechanic of having to stop to do damage. Copan definitely fixed that. The next game doesn't have Gunvolt in it.
諦めちゃジャンプ諦めちゃったね
You win.
Problem I have with this game is that
Ready?
the arcade mode, it gets longer the longer you go, like the higher the difficulty is, and it stops feeling portable after a while. I did like the master mode difficulty a couple days ago when I was at the fighting game meetup, and it felt like it took like 45 minutes. I don't know why they decided to make the arcade mode like increase in length as you increase in difficulty. The game itself was very fun. I liked playing it, but felt like they didn't design it with a portable like setting in mind. You're supposed to be able to finish like a Puzzle Fighter campaign or like playthrough in like 20-30 minutes. And the hardest difficulty is like 12 fights, so you're probably going to be there like over an hour. Depending on, you know, how many rounds you lose and everything. Not even counting continues and stuff. It takes forever. And they have like a survival mode in the game too, which is basically endless, obviously. So I don't know why the arcade mode is designed that way. I don't understand the reasoning behind that. It should always be 6 fights. Just increase the difficulty. So the survival mode is kind of fun in more ways because you can just kind of stop when you want. No, the AI actually does get smarter too, but the game actually gets longer as well. I like how they didn't just copy Puzzle Fighter verbatim too. They actually added a lot of new things like the super system and stuff. It's obviously heavily inspired by Puzzle Fighter. It's basically just like a replacement for it. But they added a lot of cool stuff. The supers definitely change things a lot. You can also, you can split the gems in half. I was really concerned when they announced this it was just going to be Puzzle Fighter without the Capcom license, but they actually did put a lot of effort into making it stand out. There is no easy mode, there's only normal mode. Normal mode and higher. And normal mode is like normal and hard mode are like the only ones that feel like decent length. The other ones start to push into too long territory. I haven't even touched the story mode yet. I think I need to do that to unlock the last few characters. But it's very much like Dragon Mark for Death. You have to go into a Discord to find matches. Like I've only been able to play like one online match, and the person bodied me. I'm not like super great at Puzzle Fighter. I mean, I'm decent at it, but I couldn't find any other matches at all. Like even like the day it came out, there just wasn't anybody. And I think part of the problem is not, I don't know how well the game sold. I think it actually did pretty decently, but you have to unlock all the characters, which it's like a blessing and a curse. It's a good thing because, you know, it's kind of a fighting arcade type game, so you want to have something to keep people playing that aren't like super competitive. But if you want to go online and you want to use a specific character and you don't just want to play the base 10, then you have to grind to get them. So it's probably an issue where it's like, it's not like there aren't people buying it and playing it, it's just that it takes a while to unlock everybody, and the game doesn't tell you how to do it. So I probably have a ton of people still trying to unlock stuff. And I don't really get why they didn't at least just tell you how to unlock them so that people could get to that point faster and then hop online. It's not like Puzzle Fighter where you can just pop into a match and everything is there for you. Now, obviously this is not an arcade game. It's supposed to be, you know, for home consumption and stuff, but I've kind of just have unlocked everything by just playing a lot, and I haven't really had very many guidelines to go off of. They did say that they want to fix all the bugs. There's lots of game-breaking bugs, and they want to make sure that the garbage pattern for every character is going to be visible during the match, so that there won't be as much memorization. That's a big part of the Puzzle Fighter meta too, is knowing where the garbage blocks are going to spawn, so that you build over there and you can kind of mount a counterattack. But you always had to memorize that stuff, and the game seems to be more balanced than Puzzle Fighter, where everyone pretty much just played Ken, because Ken had the best. He had the best pattern. He had the best pattern if you knew how to play. If you actually could chain things together and send a bunch of garbage over, he was the hardest one to fight against. But if you were bad at the game, then all you would send was reds and make it really easy for someone to destroy you. But since this game has the whole super system and stuff, I guess they want to make it so that you don't have to memorize as much. You already have to memorize your character supers and then the opponent supers. So having to memorize the garbage patterns on that is like a little bit overwhelming. Well, they did say they're going to fix that at some point, so that's cool. Probably nobody playing this right now. This doesn't have friend matches either, so it's like really hard to find a match. I really like playing this game, but just sitting at the wait screen forever gets really demoralizing. Maybe there will be somebody on. Oh wow, found somebody. Cool. Probably gonna get destroyed. I haven't played in a while. They added 3 characters and they're supposed to be... They still haven't made the DLC. It's been like... What, like 2.5 months? 3 months? I paid for the DLC and they still don't have it in the game yet. But they added 3 for free, so that made a lot of people happy.
Power Rangers Mystic Force. You gotta go
I'm playing bad. I should not be playing this right now. Yeah, I actually like that. I like that it's not just all MMPR. I like how they actually have some cool characters in the game that aren't, you know, the usual ones.
Magical source, mystic force.
That was a mistake. I shouldn't have canceled that. It's not safe. That was a good match. See if I can get that guy again. It's Trini in the dragon armor, which is like something from the comics. No, I haven't really read the comics, so I couldn't tell you, but she is from the comic books, which are apparently pretty good. I would like to read those at some point.
Magical source, mystic force.
I'm gonna lose because of the Megazord. Never mind. Flush it out. This game's so much fun, just didn't launch in the best state. I mean, not being able to block low online is kind of something that's hard to forgive, especially when there's no, like, friend matching. I still played the game a lot during that time, but I can understand why it pissed a lot of people off. And it took them like weeks to fix it too. You know, I think a lot of people left when the game became more honest. Like you can't just knock someone down and then mash low short. Have it be unblockable. I think that probably turned a lot of the degenerates off. Like you actually have to block low and open someone up instead of knocking them down once and then just mashing 2A. I actually got pretty high in the rankings not abusing that. I felt pretty proud of that. Like my fundamentals were basically just carrying me. And at the same time, it didn't really feel that great losing because a lot of times you just lost to getting a hard knockdown once and then someone would just mash buttons and kill you. I didn't like how many MMPR characters they had, but that was more of an issue of just not having a big roster in the first place. I think they should not have gone with 3 versus 3 if they were only going to be able to ship with 9 characters. That's something that everybody can agree on. I think if it had been like 2-on-2 or 2v2 with the starting roster, it wouldn't have been as bad. But you know, as much as people complain about you know, roster sizes and stuff, everybody wants like 500 characters. Like 9 characters for a 3v3 game is not acceptable under any definition. You need to have at least like 20 so that there's some variety in like assists and, you know, team dynamics and stuff. The gameplay itself is good. This is one of the games where the small roster actually is one of the biggest issues. Yeah, I don't really think the developers wanted to put this game out the way it is now.
United for all time.
Alright guys, you've got it.
I'm losing to a masher. I need to stop playing. Can't believe this shit.
Are you up to the task?
playing very well right now. I think this game's issues is mostly just corporate meddling. Like the core gameplay is actually really good. I usually don't care about the rosters in games, but it actually is a legitimate problem here. I can't think of any other 3v3 game that only has 9 characters. Like, people were complaining about the Dragon Ball FighterZ roster, and that had like, I think it had like 23 or something at launch. Even that is kind of low for a 3v3, because you still can see like a pretty significant chunk of the roster in just one match. But 9 is unacceptable. I wonder what's going on with the DLC. I mean, I paid for it. I pre-ordered it like back in February, and it's still not out. And they said that the 3 characters that were added were not the DLC. They weren't like withheld or anything. I think Hasbro just told them to put that shit out pronto. They definitely have put a ton of effort into like fixing it and stuff. It's just people aren't very patient anymore, and there's a lot of stuff coming out. I mean, this year has been crazy. We're only halfway through it. There's been like a lot of Game of the Year contenders for tons of stuff. I still like playing it. I think I would play it more if it had friend matches and lobbies, and it doesn't. That's the kind of thing that can really save a low population fighting game, because like a lot of the ArcSys stuff, the ranked is dead within the first month. And it makes people think that the game is dead, but usually you just go into the casual lobbies and there's tons of people playing. At the very least, enough to just like go up to somebody and play. And they have friend matches and stuff, so the fact that the ranked is dead doesn't matter. But in Battle for the Grid, all you have is ranked and unranked. You can't just like play with somebody. You can't just give someone your friend code and just have a match with them. You also can't join a lobby where there's like 8 people playing and just get a match. So it's not like people didn't buy it. It's just the game doesn't really offer a lot of options to actually just get into a game with somebody. Anyway, I'm sure what I want to do now. I wanted to keep this just console game, so let's see if there's anything else I feel like playing. Yeah, I don't think I have the mental capacity to play fighting games right now. I'll play a little Rolling Gunner. sorry I had to go to the bathroom. Sorry I had to look at the story. This game is very difficult. Like my friend Dan, who's much better at shmups than I am. It's like his primary genre that he plays. He was barely able to 1cc this on Novice. And it's a very good game though. It's cool that they patched in English text because it's not available in it's not available outside of the Japanese eShop just yet. Like I booted it up like a couple weeks ago and the text was all randomly in English and I couldn't figure out why. Because when I bought it, the only thing that was in English was the like just the mode selection, the main menu. No, it's only available on the Japanese eShop. Their Twitter recently posted something like, please wait. It's in like broken English. It said like, please wait for the other regions. That there's no reason to wait. It's like, it's always on sale. I only paid like, I think it was like 2480 yen for it, which is like 25 bucks. Well worth it for that price. It's actually like competitively priced. It's not like 8,000 yen like a lot of the other 360 Cave Shmup ports were. Ah, where's my bomb button? Where's my bomb button? Oh, I can't change it. Oh, that's probably why I need to put it to X button when I play on stick. See if that fixed it. That's still messed up. Still messed up. I wish this game had like a better button config where you just push the button and it changes it. Oh wait, it does. Never mind. There we go. I think it's fixed now. Actually, no, it's not. Alright, there we go. I'll show how difficult this game is on Novice. It's still a very difficult game. But I'm actually gonna go grab some dinner shortly, so I'm not gonna play through the whole game. It's about 45 minutes. 45 minutes, maybe roughly, depending on how much credit feeding you do. See, this pattern is definitely a lot less dense, but it's not like it's totally brain dead easy either. The only way I'd probably ever get a 1cc on this would be to play on Novice. It's very difficult on normal. But I like how they have like modern stuff, like actually being able to see your hitbox. You can also change the color of the hitbox as well. I went for like magenta colored because it's easier to see it. Maybe I can punch some people for a little bit and then go get dinner. I'm getting pretty hungry. Like, see, there's only like 40 people playing this right now, and the ranked is probably dead, but because there's a casual lobby, it doesn't really matter. That's the kind of stuff that, like, Power Rangers is missing. Like, just having a lobby where you can just play somebody. I don't think there's any open kiosks right now. Here's an Orie. I don't know if I really play fighting games right now. Let's see.
Here we go! Can't escape from crossing fate! Fight!
Can't get in on that freaking katana, man. Fuck. Come on, push a button. Damn it. Ah, it's over. Or not. Clutch it out. Pretty shitty matchup. Her range is just too long for them to get in on.
Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight!
Parry. What a gorilla. Parried like 5 attacks. Nice.
Evil shall
Damn 5C. Keep getting hit by it. Rip run.
love always prevails. Always. Thanks for the help, party. We're gonna show. Get ready. Get ready. Here we go. Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight. Can you say that? Speed.
Ah. Come on, land it. Good shit. DHC? Oh, no meter. Character's so fucking hard to get in because she has that freaking Arcana Heart
Love always prevails.
dash attack. Seems like the best new character that they added.
Blade. Kamiji no Hamare, aka.
What the hell? He's taking a nap. I hear somebody. This game looks pretty bad on the Switch version because there's like no filtering. It looks really pixelated. But only in docked mode. When you play in portable mode, the game looks great. But as soon as you hook it up to the TV, it looks really clunky or chunky. I'm not sure why there's like not filtering on it. I think the other versions have it. This is the only one that doesn't. But I play this game like 95% in portable mode anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Get ready. Get ready.
Ah, I can't stand this freaking Lolly. He's one of the worst BlazBlue characters. Laggy too, even better. Wow, the lag. Lag! No!
Really? I just got warmed up too.
Naoto.
I'll go ahead and maybe that was just a fluke. Maybe it's been from like not skipping the intro. Or skipping the intro.
Get ready. Get ready.
Let the intro play out. Sometimes that fixes the netcode.
Seriously? Don't say I didn't warn
See why no one wants to watch this shit though. It lasts too long, but sometimes it like stabilizes the netcode.
Can't escape from crossing fate. Fight.
Damn, that scaled like crazy. That was a nice punish. Nice.
You finally done? See you later then. This fight just get.
Alright, well, I think that's a good enough variety for today. I played 5 games. Yeah, I had a pretty decent amount of playtime on all of them, except Rolling Gunner. I think I'm gonna go grab something to eat. If I can get some DMFD matches on the Discord, then maybe I'll grind on there. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna come back and do some PC stuff. I'm not sure what. Maybe I'll do some modded DMC5. Maybe some Corridor of Time and Bloody Spell. I haven't played Corridor of Time since I got back, pretty much. So I think it's a good stopping point for now. I'm gonna go get something to eat. So I'm not on Twitch. I don't have anybody to host. I mean, maybe like Swillow's on or something. Let me check. Surprised I was able to manage to find a Power Rangers match. That's genuinely shocking to me. Yeah, there's nobody I know on, so I'll be back probably later tonight. And go to my neighbor's house, watch the cats, and then grab some dinner. So I'll see you guys later on with some PC stuff, unless I'm able to find some DMFD matches on the Discord. Peace.